Alright, it's me. So, I'm gonna make an attempt. Okay, just a straight up, I'm gonna make an attempt to make a video on why you shouldn't skip Yakuza 7. See, okay, this game is amazing. We'll get off right to the first, biggest thing. It's turn-based. Yes, it is turn-based. And while the games were usually, brawler games, fighting games, it was definitely a big change. There's a lot of theories on why it changed. It can go from stuff like an April Fool's video that was taken too seriously to Ichiban viewing the world as a video game. I mean, I ain't gonna complain. You wanna know why? Because this game's combat is amazing. Basically, the combat works like this. You have your basic attack, just attack with the weapon you have. Then, if the enemy's on the ground, you can hit them while they're on the ground to get some critical, critical hits. And then you got magic and other stuff, such as you got physical stuff, and then you got actual stuff like fire, water, electricity, yeah, guns, and then you got blade moves. And it's fun to play around with them, see what does what. See, right now, I'm just grinding up some levels for the current run I'm doing right now, the Yakuza 7 default jobs only, where I can only have the default jobs equipped at all time. And speaking of jobs are like the class system in this game. At a certain point, you're given a time to choose your jobs. Each job is different and works in its own ways. I would say no job is okay. Some jobs are better than others. I'm just gonna say it. And you can't really, as much as you want to deny it, you really can't, because it's true. Some jobs are a lot better than others. But some jobs are kind of like equal standing. But each character has their default job. You can always stick with their default job. It works. They're effective. As I say here, while some jobs are better than others, some jobs are the other jobs are still effective. Don't knock them out saying that those jobs are useless. They're still pretty effective. So just remember that. And because of that, you get to play around with them. Now, I'll give off a guide, I guess, guide on some good jobs that you can put on the characters. Ichiban, some of his best jobs are freelancer, which goes from Yakuza to deadbeat to freelancer, but it's freelancer most of the game, and that's what most people call it. So freelancer, the hero job, and then the breaker job. Those are the jobs that he fits well the best. Ones I would recommend putting on him. For Nanba, oddly a lot of jobs work for him. I'd say his two best jobs to put on him would be to be a homeless man and then host. Oddly enough, the homeless man is a good host. Okay, so don't base everything on looks. Okay. Adachi, his base job is pretty good, although I'd recommend putting on either I recommend putting on either Enforcer or the riot job. I actually forget the name. No, yeah, that's the name. Enforcer's a riot job, and then Demolition. I recommend Demolition more, but that's just my preference. I like it more. So that's just me. And for Psycho, some of the good jobs, her base job is really good, and then the hostess job, those are like best jobs for her. For Zhao, his gangster job, gangster mafia, well, yeah, the mafia job, or I think it's actually called gangster, and then street musician, those are the best jobs for him. For Eri, you have to do the business management game, which is pretty neat. It's a pretty neat game, and you can get through it fast. I also would recommend doing it because how you get the stack slap skills, which are really helpful. I really recommend that. And then also, Aerie's just a pretty good party member in general. But for Area, her base job is pretty good, and then okay, mainly her base job, I say stick with her base job, but since she has a really high luck stat, the dealer job is a pretty good one for her, although I would recommend just going for get the air raid skill, because one interesting thing that drops has is you can get skills that will carry over, which is pretty good, it's pretty helpful. So yeah, I'd recommend getting those for them, for other characters, because like every job has like 2 or 3 skills that will get to be carried over for every other job. They'll carry over every other job. So I would recommend, you know, just upgrading some to get them at least, even if you don't like the job. Also, Hostess is a pretty good one. I would, not Hostess, I already said Hostess, but the idol job is pretty good. It's a really good healer job, so if you ever need, you know, your healers and stuff, use them. And yeah, remember that every job will have skills that will transfer over to the other jobs, because it's important to remember that. It's pretty helpful. And for our final person on this list would be Jungi Han, who is one of the most powerful, like, party members. I'll just say it now, he probably is the most powerful one. I mean, Ichiban is good. Ichiban is a jack of all trades. But Jungi Han is not someone to be messed with. He will destroy you. He can destroy the final boss. And a lot of other bosses. So, but best job for Jungi Han, the Hitman job, which I kind of just recommend. I keep the Hitman job on him, and then the host job is really good for him. I'd recommend getting the share skills from the host job, and then keep him on Hitman most of the time. So there's your, you know, job guides if you ever needed them, and hopefully they'll help you. You don't have to listen to it, do whatever you want. I mean, that's the big whole point of the jobs. Select whatever you want. So another big, you know, big change is to have a brand new protagonist. Now, this is the first game to have, that's mainline to have a protagonist who not Kiryu. Where Kiryu is not a playable character. Due to certain events from Yakuza 6, and no, it's not what you think. I'm not going to say what they are. The spoilers, just in case for the people who haven't played it, but yeah, it's not what you think, what you're thinking right now when I say certain events, trust me, but yeah. So after that, Ichiban is our new protagonist. Ichiban as a protagonist, really, really good. He's a funny guy, but he's also, he can get pretty serious. You know, he isn't just comedic relief 24/7. Like at the end of the game, you know, it gets very emotional, so you gotta see him go through that. He has a pretty neat story from like where he was born. Pretty much the start of the story, I won't say too much, I'll just say the basic premise. If you don't want to hear it, just skip a little forwards, I guess. If you're trying to go in completely blind or something, but basically, Ichiban's part of the Arakawa family. They are a part of the Tojo clan. And they're a small family, but they're known for being killers and stuff. With the captain, Joe Sawashiro, to be crazy and deadly. But yeah, and one day, supposedly the captain, you know, Sawashiro, killed someone, and Arakawa's like, shit, what do I do? There's not too much I can do about that, and I can't let him go to jail, so Ichiban decides to say, hey, I'll go to jail for him. So Ichiban goes to jail, and he goes there for like, 10 years or something. I think more than that, actually. But he's in jail for a long time. To sum it up. And now, once he gets out, he has to slowly witness how everything has changed. Kamurocho's different, the world's different. And somehow, supposedly, Arakawa gave out the Tojo claim to the Omi. And now, like, the Omi has taken over the Tojo. That's the main premise, that's the basic premise of the story. It's a really good story. Also, the bosses in this game are so great. But yeah, and Ichiban as a character, he's goofy, he's funny, he likes Dragon Quest, he's a gamer, so you can at least relate to him. That's, you know... And that's also why the game is turn-based. He loves Dragon Quest so much he views the world as a video game. Now, okay, remember this. A lot of people are sad and are kind of being scared away about the fact that Kiryu is no longer the main protagonist and that his story ended with 6. But, remember this. The other protagonists of the games were awesome too. And in Judgment, I know Judgment is a spin-off, but in Judgment, he was a completely new character. Yagami was completely different, okay? And guess what? Everyone liked Yagami, okay? So just remember that. Ichiban is a great protagonist. You know, whether you like him more or not than Kiryu, I'll promise that, you know, you'll have fun with him. And all the other characters are great too. They all have the reasoning for the plot and stuff and why they're there. Now, I'll try to talk about the minigames quick. The minigames are fun. You know, you got the basic ones that come over from the other games like baseball, gambling, you know, stuff like that. Then this one has some, you know, unique ones, original ones for it. You got the can picking up minigame, where basically you ride on this bike and you drive over cans and you collect them, which is pretty helpful. It's pretty helpful because once you get enough cans, you know, collected, you can buy stuff like, you can buy items that will level up a job. Also, there's two, level up a job, there's two, like, level up systems. You got the character, level up, you got, like, the character stats, pretty much, which will level up for them. And then you got the job, you know, level ups, which will affect the character's stats. So remember that. And then you got If you can't pick up minigames good, I recommend, you know, grinding it out some. Because you can get some real good stuff out of it from like the store that the dude has. And then you got the movie theater minigame, which is basically Ichiban watches a movie, but like the aura of the movie theater is so calm that it makes people fall asleep. And basically you have to shoot goats, so Ichiban won't fall asleep. And then there's a chicken that will pop up. If you hit the chicken, Ichiban will might fall asleep. Basically there's like kind of like a health bar for it. It's fun. It's fun. It's kind of easy, but it's fun. Another... I know that's not all the unique mini games. There's where so you got the go-kart racing, which is really fun. The dragon kart, which is just a racing mini game, but it's pretty fun. I had fun with it. You know, karaoke in this game is pretty good. Also, this game has an English dub. It's not the first game to do it. Yakuza 1 was. But this game's dub is amazing. It's a pretty good dub. Okay? It's definitely like... It's a pretty... Okay, I prefer the Japanese dub over it. But it's a really good dub. And... yeah, the story's great. The characters, like the new cast of characters are great. So all in around, this game is really good. In my opinion, it rivals Yakuza 0, which is something real big to say. But trust me on this one, okay? But yeah, it rivals Yakuza 0 in my opinion. Yeah, you also got the businessman game, which I'd recommend doing. As I said, you get the stack slap skills, which are really good. And then you also get, it's the only way to level up your bond with area. Another thing, this game has the bond system. Basically, okay, once you get in enough fights or sing someone's, or do someone's karaoke song, or just hang out with them, their bond will raise. And what the bond does is, the bond pretty much, you'll get more experience when they're outside of battle, and also once you max out their bond, which is to 5 by the way, the highest the bond stat goes is 5. Remember that? And they'll be able to follow up on attacks and stuff. And all around, it's a neat little system, and it doesn't take too long to do. It's really not that much of a grind. And plus, it can go up from singing karaoke, so remember that. And also eating food. And yeah, that's it for the bond system. Like I said, I recommend doing it. And then you got the business manager game, which is fun. And the stack slap skills you get from it are amazing. Also, the ultimate skill, satellite laser, which will like annihilate your enemies, but it costs a ton of SP, which is, you know, your MP, which is your magic points. And yeah, all around this game is just amazing. It's not a Persona ripoff. It's a Dragon Quest ripoff. I'll say it now. The game makes a ton of references to Dragon Quest, basically saying that it's inspired by Dragon Quest. Okay, so if anything, it's a Dragon Quest ripoff. But yeah, that's my attempt on trying to get you to be more, be more eased into Yakuza 7. With the big changes, it's definitely going to, like, scare people away, but trust me, this game is amazing. Plus, if you get it, and you don't like it, well, you can always return the game, I guess. That's always something. I kind of hope that they make an English demo of this game, because so far there's only the Japanese demo. No English demo from so far that I know of. So yeah, hopefully they make an English dub one so people can at least try it. So yeah, that's my attempt on making you want to play Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. Great game all around. Yeah, and that's about it. Hopefully it worked. So yeah, see you guys later.